Hello students, good evening all of you. Welcome to Meridean Overseas. Today we are going to discuss study in Australia. So what are the future prospects of study in Australia? What are the outcomes of Australia? What courses Australia is offering? So in today's session, we will be going to discuss all these points. So here we start. First and most important point. First and most important point, that what is overseas education? Why students want to go for overseas education? So students, if you are looking for long run association, if you are looking for practical exposure, so definitely Australia would be, or you can say overseas education would be the good choice for it. Here you will be finding knowledge of world education. Why study in Australia? So Australia has been divided into 6 major regions: Western Australia, Northern Territory, South Australia, Queensland, New South Wales, and Victoria. Capital of Australia is Canberra. Currency is AUD, that is Australian dollar. Time zone, Australia is 4.3 hours ahead from India, and it follows GMT plus 10. As far as seasons are concerned, so seasons are totally opposite what India we have. So from December to February, they have summers. March to May, they have autumn. June to August, they have winter. And September to November are spring. Major cities in Australia. So most importantly, the most renowned city is Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane. So these 3 cities comes under urban areas, and each and every students want to get into these cities. The other best cities are Perth, Adelaide, Gold Coast, Canberra, Logan City, Newcastle, Wollongong, Geelong, and Hobart. As far as population is concerned, so it is 0.99% increase. So hardly 1.51 to 0.99% increase every year. Major attractions of Australia. So you have been seen Sydney Opera House in every sceneries, in every film shootings and videos. Then we have Melbourne Culture City, that is Victoria, National Park, Great Barrier Reef Marine Park, and Sydney Harbour Bridge. Symbols of Australia. Since Australia is very centric or very near towards nature, towards the heritage, so their national animal is kangaroo, national bird is emu, and this is the national code of Australia. Then the most important thing, that why we study in Australia. So since first is top ranked university. As when you are searching, so you will be able to understand, you will be able to find that top ranked universities are in Australia. So if you talk about QS ranking, if you talk about THE ranking, Shanghai ranking, so most of the universities of Australia come under top 100 or top 10 universities. Whether it is area specific, whether it is course specific, or whether it is an overall university performance. High quality of education, since you know that top ranked university in Australia, so definitely they will be maintaining their quality of education. So that's why in Australian universities, you will be finding quality of education. Cost effective, since tuition fees is no much higher in Australia. So you will be finding reasonable cost of living along with number of opportunities to recover your cost. Global recognition, since Australian universities are recognized and it will be acceptable to around the globe. So whatever degree that you will be getting from Australia would be having recognition around the globe. Scholarships and internship. Yes, this is the most important point. And a scholarship, particularly for scholarships, Australian universities are very well known. Work while you study. So since Australia is giving opportunities to international students to work part-time, so students can work 48 hours per fortnight part-time during their classes, and they can work full-time during their vacations. Some points that is why study in Australia. So Indian degree is acceptable in Australia, bachelor's degree, and students 10+2 students can also enroll for the bachelor's program. Master's course duration is from 1 year to 2 years. Competitive cost for tuition and living in comparison to other countries like UK, USA. As we discussed before, Australian education is recognized globally. The process of Australian application from application till visa is very streamlined. That's why we call this streamlined visa process. Again, another important thing that we can see that ESOS Act to protect the interest of international students. So interest of international students is also protected by the country. Safe country with a pleasant climate and stable democracy. AQF. AQF means Australian Qualification Network. So this is the framework that Australian universities are following up. And as an international student, you can enter into Australia from this higher education parameters, or you can go with wet parameters as well. Different courses levels that universities are offering. So universities offer diploma programs, certificate programs, bachelor's program, grad diploma program, master's program, master's by coursework or taught program, and doctorate program. Duration of the program. So we'll start from bachelor's. So bachelor's duration is 3 years. If you add 1 more year to it, so it becomes honors. Master's program start from ranging 1.5 years to 2 years. In Australia, there are number of options for dual degree as well. So if you want, you can do 2 bachelors simultaneously, and the duration is of 4 years. You can go for double masters also. So double masters duration would be 2 or 2.5 years. You also have and combined integrated degrees. So bachelor's or master's you can do simultaneously in the duration of 4 or 4.5 years. Courses and faculties. So since we are going for overseas education, we are going for international education. So there are variety of options that we can get into and get a good career options out of it. So first, agriculture. Then we have business administration, education, engineering, health science, HM, humanities, maths and computing, science, visual and performance art, communications, IT, and social studies. So these are all of the major faculties that you can get. Now, coming to the universities. In Australia, we have 42 universities. These 42 universities has been divided into 3 parts. That is public, private, and international. 38 public universities has been divided into two parts. That is group of 8 universities and good universities. So this is the list of university. So I have categorized here region wise. So ACT, that is Australian Capital Territory. So here we have Australian National University as a group of 8 university. In New South Wales, we have University of New South Wales and University of Sydney. In Queensland, we have University of Queensland. South Australia, we have University of Adelaide. Victoria, we have Monash, University of Melbourne. And in Western Australia, we have University of Western Australia. So these 8 universities comes under the umbrella of Group 8. Rest universities are come under the group of good universities. Now, this is the map of university. Since I told you that Australia has been divided into 6 parts: Western Australia, Northern Territory, Queensland, New South Wales, South Australia, and Tasmania. Some top-ranked universities: University of Melbourne, Monash, Australian National University, Western Australia, University of New South Wales, University of Sydney, Adelaide, Queensland. So these universities are group of 8 universities. And the other best universities that we can say, that is ACU, Swinburne, RMIT, Southern Cross, University of South Australia, University of Sunshine Coast, University of Newcastle, Victoria University, Western Sydney University, University of South Queensland. So all these universities comes under the umbrella of good universities. Now, coming to the intakes. So majorly Australia offer 2 intakes, February and March intake. We called it semester 1 also. Then we have July-August intake. We called it semester 2. Apart from these 2, we have a minor intake also, that is November intake. Minimum entry requirements. So particularly for undergrads, we are looking for a good academic scores from grade 12th. We do accept CBSE, ICSE, IB, and state boards also. So minimum marks would be 65% from CBSE, ICSE, and IB. For state boards, there are certain bifurcation. So for Rajasthan board, for Haryana board, for Punjab board, it is 70%. For Delhi board, for Maharashtra board, for Telangana board, it is 65%. Some courses such as computing and engineering will require maths also. So there are prerequisites for certain programs, so that you have to consider while you're shortlisting your university. Now, IELTS, English requirement. So English requirement is the important aspect. IELTS for undergrads overall 6, no band less than 6. We are no longer accepted TOEFL as of now. PTE is overall 54, no band less than 50. And if students want to go for nursing, teaching, social work, these kind of programs, so at that point of time, we are looking for English requirement at a higher end, that would be 7 overall, no band less than 6.5. We are not very much rigid for SAT, ACT examination for undergrads. But if suppose a student is from commerce background and students want to go for some IT program or some math related program, so in that scenario, student can give SAT or ACT examination and can bridge the shortage of the profile. But it is not mandatory required. Coming to masters, No, in masters, we are looking for bachelor's, the latest past qualification. So here in Australia, we do follow Nooser guide to assess Indian universities. So Indian universities has been divided into 3 sections. That is section 1, section 2, and section 3. So from section 1 university, we do accept minimum 55%. From section 2, it is 65%. And from section 3, 75%. That is the bare minimum that we are looking at. If you are from any of the science background or engineering background, and there are some backlogs, so yes, students with 1 or 2 backlogs can apply for group of 8 university. But if a student has more than 4 backlogs, means 5 backlogs, 8 backlogs, so in that scenario, student can go for good universities. But the condition is that your program must be completed in the stipulated time. अगर आपका 3 साल का bachelor है तो 3 साल में ही खत्म होना चाहिए. And all backlogs must be cleared. So definitely we are looking for a no backlog certificate from the university. For some programs, definitely master's degree do require some of the work experience, like for MBA. But again, there are options for a fresher MBAs also. Coming to English requirements, IELTS overall 6.5, no less than 6.5. PT overall 58, no less than 54. If same likewise, you undergrads, postgrads also looking for higher entry requirements in English for teaching, nursing, counseling, and social work programs. Here also we do not looking for any GRE or GMAT score. So again, if a student is having GRE or GMAT score, so it would be an added advantage to the profile. So overall process of right from application till visa, it's of 5 to 6 months. So it would be recommended to you if you are planning for Australian studies. So start your application as soon as possible. If you want to go for undergrad program and you have your 10th score, 11th scores with you, so with 12th class of Predictec score, you can apply to the Australian university and get a conditional offer letter. Likewise, if you are in the final year of your bachelor's and you want to apply, so you can apply and you can get a conditional offer letter for the pending mark sheets. Another important thing that since we have talked in previous slides for English requirement, but at the time of application, if you don't have English requirements, then it's okay. You can give your IELTS or PT score later on also to convert your conditional offer letter into unconditional. For application purpose, yes, we need certain documents. So in those documents, your updated resume, your mark sheet starting from your class 10 and onwards, and your passport copy. In the slide that why study in Australia, we have noticed that you will be getting economically, Australia is economical and Australia is giving you a work opportunities. So student can work 48 hours per fortnight when they have their classes, and they can work full time during the vacation. And minimum wages that a student can earn is 21.38 AUD per hour. That is the bare minimum what Australian government has decided. Post-study work right. So Australia is giving you opportunity. If you studied in Australia, a full-time bachelor program and a full-time master's program, so you are eligible to stay back in the country for certain years, and then you can work full-time as an employee over there. So if you studied in Sydney, Brisbane, or Melbourne, After successful completion of your bachelor's, you will be getting 4 years. If you have studied master's in Australia, in Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne, so you will be getting 5 years. For PhD, it would be 6 years. Now, if you route towards regional areas like Perth, Adelaide, Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast, Canberra, Wollongong, Macquarie, Geelong. So here you will be getting 5 years for bachelor's, 6 years for master's, and 7 years for PhD. Other regional areas, you will be getting up to 6 years of post-study work right for bachelor's, 7 years for master's, and 8 years for PhD program. Now, we will be talking about some finances. So how finances goes. At the time of admission, you have to show 1 year tuition fees, 1 year living expenses, and your health insurance. So your cost of living per year would be 21,041 AUD as an international student. If any partners accompany you, then it would be 7,362 additional. If you have any dependent childs with you, then it would be 3,152 AUD additional. Tuition fees for bachelors start from ranging 20,000 AUD per year and it goes up to 45,000 AUD per year. Master's degree starts from ranging 22,000 AUD per year and it goes up to 50,000 AUD per year. Healthcare insurance. So you need to purchase overseas healthcare insurance at the time of admission for the entire duration of your study. We are not looking for any health insurance for the post-study work. So if a student is going for 2 years program, then you have to purchase 2 years health cover upfront. If a student is going for 1 year, 3-year program, then 3 years. So minimum health cover for individual starts from ranging 478 AUD. For couple, it would be 2,600 AUD. And for family, it would be 4,200 AUD per year. The best part, scholarships. So as I told you that Australian universities are very, very well known for the scholarships. And the best part is that you can get your scholarship at the time of your application got assessed for application. So you no need to apply separately for scholarships. So here the Australian and the best, another thing that Australian government and universities both are helping international students to get the scholarships. So you will be getting scholarships on the levels if you want to go for bachelor's, master's or PhD students. So this is how to apply to study in Australia. So choose your program, decide your institution, check the entry criteria, apply for the course, receive your offer letter, receive COE, apply for visa, and you can plan your travel. So this is the application process. So as I told you that you have to apply early to get all things done on time. So here I have divided whole application process into 3 parts. That is pre-application, application, and post-application. So pre-application includes to choose university as per the profile, choose program, check the entry requirements, check the intake, arrange academic documents, and arrange funds. Here, meaning of arranging funds is that at the time of application, when you are converting your conditional offer into unconditional, you have to clear GT. Okay, so to clear GT, definitely you have to make arrangements of funds. Coming to the application, you have to fill the registration form, application form, pay the application fees. So group of 8 universities, there are application fees for a group of 8 universities, starting from 100 AUD to 125 AUD. You have to upload all the necessary documents for the application, and you can submit application to the university. Australian universities takes minimum 2 to 6 weeks to assess your application, depending upon the profile, depending upon the program that you have applied for. And after assessment, university will give you offer. So the offer that you will be getting from Australia is always a conditional offer letter. So your condition could be any pending document that you have not submitted at the time of application. If you have not submitted your IELTS documents, if you have not given your final mark sheets or degree or any kind of other related document, these are the document pendency. And apart from document pendency, the most important aspect of your whole application is GTE clearance. So to clear GTE condition, you have to show some reserves into the bank account. So it would be a calculation of 1 year tuition fees, 1 year living expenses. So you have to show these two things upfront to the university, that you have sufficient amount to support your education for first year. To support this GT clearance, you need to submit bank statement of your sponsor, 4 to 6 months old. If you want, you can include FDs to it, and you can go for education loan also. Now, who can be the sponsor? So your parents would be your first sponsor. If you want, you can include your grandparents, whether it is paternal, maternal. You can include your siblings. So these are the major sponsors. If you want to include your aunt, uncles, so you can include them, but only from 5 to 10% or maximum 15% of your total projection, not more than that. So who all are your sponsors? So we are looking for minimum 2 years of ITR, latest 2 years of ITR. There are 6 months bank statement. If sponsor is having business, so definitely we are looking for business documents. If sponsor is from service class, so service documents, PAN card, Aadhaar card, these are our documents also required to clear the GT condition. As soon as you give us all the documents and we'll submit it to the university, university will scrutinize those documents, and then university will convert our conditional offer letter into unconditional. And university asks us to go for initial payment. So we will be doing the initial payment along with healthcare insurance. It is reflecting in our offer letter. After paying initial amount and overseas healthcare insurance, university will give us a COE letter, that is confirmation of enrollment letter. And on the basis of COE letter, we can apply for visa. Australia visa. So as an international students, when we are going for a full-time education for a bachelor's or for a master's program, we have to file Australian student visa, and it comes under subclass 500. As per visa subclass 500, we can stay in the country up to 5 to 8 years. With this visa application, first we have to enroll with a full-time program. We can bring our family members to Australia. We can apply from inside or outside Australia. For applying visa, we must have a health cover insurance for the entire duration of our study. So base fees of Australian visa application is 715 AUD. Earlier it was 650, but now from 1st of July it has been changed. So this is the visa process. So we can apply for Australian student visa before up to 90 to 124 days. We are going to apply via immigration portal. So visa application process is fully online. So with the help of COE, your overseas healthcare insurance document, your financial documents, your academic documents, we will be filing visa. Then after submitting the application, we will be paying the application fees, that is 715 AUD. Then we will be going for health checkup. So there are immigration designated institutions where we can go and we can have our health checkup. And as soon as we're done with the health checkup and our health checkup report reach to the immigration, they will give us a final decision within 4 to maximum 45 days and up to 60 days as well, depending upon the file, depending upon the profile. And once you receive the visa, you are good to go and you can fly to Australia. So students, this is about Australia studies. So now I am open for questions. So if you have any questions, so you can ask. So take it. So Arshid has asked that he has 2 offer letters. One is from QUT and one is from Griffith. So one student has asked that student has offer from QUT and offer from Griffith University. See, both the universities are very prominent and both universities comes under level 1 university. So before accepting the offer letter, you can check the academic criteria of the university, because you haven't mentioned that particularly for which program you have applied, because Australian universities do have accreditation of a different Australian accreditation for the different professions. November intake is a very small intake, but there are openings for bachelor's and master's. So if any students want to get into for November intake, so they can apply as soon as possible and get their offer letter done. So thank you all of students for giving us time to listen. And you can comment your questions into the chat box, and then we can answer, or you can connect us on the below links for the further discussions. Thank you.